To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'm voting. Can I get a motion to approve the minutes of the public hearing and regular board meeting, which was held on July 9th, 2024?
So moved.
Second? Second? Okay, all in favor? Anybody opposed? Can I get a motion to approve the financial statements for the month of July 2024?
I'll make that motion.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Okay, we have a few guests tonight. First up is Chris Roberts. You have 5 minutes, please.
Yes, I'm just really confused why the town attorney is spending so much time billing the town for hours talking to Verizon and Tarpon Towers and having conferences with them and meetings and stuff like that, when the decisions were already made. Can anybody explain that to me? And then now also, he bills every 3 months. He bills on March 31st, and then now all of a sudden, should have been billed at the end of June, and there's still no invoice. A lawyer that doesn't want to get paid. That's really odd. Come on, team, come on, a lawyer that doesn't want to get paid. You know, and then maybe you should take a look at, well, you haven't gotten it yet because there's nobody to serve here, the motion to stay. And just go through the affidavit and look at the timeline and look how it just doesn't line up. There's something really wrong here. You know, I've never met somebody as unprofessional as your lawyer, okay? He's the most unprofessional lawyer that I've dealt with yet. He's blocked me from his email. You know what I sent him? I sent him a email stating, hey, I can send you this thing. I know you're out of town. It was a pleading. It was a verified petition. I was just trying to give him courtesy of it, trying to get it to him, and that wouldn't be proper service, just so we'd have it ahead of time. You know, so he was coming back from it. Instantly blocked me. Then he's got Mike blocking me now.
You most certainly didn't have me blocked.
You,
I blocked you on my own.
Mike,
and then I
this is my
unblocked
5
you.
minutes, Mike. Thank
Well,
you.
don't throw my name in it.
Mike, you blocked me, and I'm speaking, and I don't want to be interrupted again. Okay? There's something wrong going on here. These are public records, okay? You're public officials, you're servants to the public, okay? We have every right to these documents. You created another lawsuit that you're gonna lose. And you're gonna have to pay me costs. You're gonna have to pay me for my time. You understand this, Kevin? Why is this going on? Somebody made that decision, and I know the town supervisor, he doesn't run the town, Kevin. You run the town. Who made that decision about the cell tower?
How did you arrive that I run the town?
Mr. Fay, I'm speaking, thank you. Where's my time, Mike? I don't want to be over.
We'll give you a few extra seconds for my interruption. You got 2.5 minutes.
Thank you, Mike. All I know is that decision should have never been passed. And it was outside the board that that decision came in. So who made it? Was it just Anthony Hollick? Then why is he still your lawyer? You should be suing him right now for damages. What do you think's gonna happen when we get all done with this? Whether the tower goes up or not, there's gonna be a lawsuit, okay, for wasting my time. You're gonna lose. You can't beat me on the merits. You can't beat me on the merits. I wrote to you before, I explained it all to you, I gave it to the boards, and you ignored me. You've created this whole situation. We're just starting. That's what it's like.
Craig Loomis?
About the flooding
concerning how we get the floods, but the drain can only take so much, and you take the drains off, and all the sticks and debris will go under and maybe get clogged in the under drain under my driveway. But, I was also concerned of, there's like 4 inches of water over the road. And I've sat on my porch and watched people go about 80 miles per hour down this road. Every day, every night. I just don't wanna see someone hit that water at night, or whatever, and hydroplane and hit something, or got to hit somebody. But, how is this? Kinda gotta get, it's just, the flood is unreal. I got pictures on the phone, videos, and, but, I don't know what else. I don't,
Craig, I'll hand out some pictures, because this was actually on my agenda, Michelle. We were gonna talk about this when it hit my agenda, and these are some photos. This is the last storm we had there Friday.
And then also change laptop before my
Yeah.
time starts.
Yeah, I guess. I don't see a problem with that.
This is the volume of water that's coming over the road in that location. We have, I spoke to Tony. The problem for this water is it's starting on private property, which has culvert pipe. The system is supposed to be underground completely from 3047 Oneida Street, right through Marty Gus's at 3061, across underneath Oneida Street, and through Loomis's property. And then we go out to the ravine.
I was just wondering if
As time's gone on, Bill Hughes' property, 3047, has been eroded, silted in, the end of the culvert is completely covered up. He has no interest in opening the culvert pipe up, paying somebody a contract or anything. So it surpasses Bill's property, and it runs onto Marty Gus's
I
property.
already did, and so if you just hit it, that way you'll see them all.
Marty Gus's property has 2 catch basins on it, one at the wood line along the adjoining property of Bill Hughes' property. There's one there, and then there's one on our right of way on Marty Street.
I was just wondering if you guys can like make another catch basin right in front of the telephone pole that's directly across the street from my house and Glenn's as a development. And that's where all the water goes from my driveway in. Make a ditch to the end of there, under the road, the water will go down.
I believe that the process is probably going to start with Marty Gus and Bill Hugh, who have a culvert system on the property that is just not being maintained.
Yeah.
I believe we're gonna have to contact them, reach out to them, by mail, and they're gonna have to, because it's already a system that's in place,
Yeah.
and it's not functioning. Bill Hugh,
Oh,
he's the neighbor
the neighbor
next to
with the
Marty
boat
Gus,
that brings up.
heading south.
Flood. Okay.
And his property has all the debris and everything that's coming over to the catch basin and covering up the catch basin.
Did you see the pictures of the catch basin when they take it off all the sticks? and
Yeah.
stuff?
I see that.
I'm Vanessa Griffiths, I live next door to Fred. Marty does an okay job trying to keep that catch basin clean, but it does not always happen. And then it floods our yard, and that catch basin goes underneath the road through Fred's and my property. And over the years, the water that's in that, storm drain creek has widened in my backyard because of the amount of flow that is happening.
So who's responsible for the catch basin?
The one at the
private
road is
person.
our catch basin, that's within our right of way, we maintain. When we get the storms, we're down there, we actually remove the catch basin because of the debris that's coming, we lift the catch basin. Because you can't, it's off the road and it's underwater. The firemen have been there, they've gone out there trying to poke around with sticks and stuff, and it's just, number one, it's dangerous, and two, the volume of material that's on top of it. It's easier to remove the basin and let the water flow. And as soon as we remove the basin, we start to control the water a little bit, but the water is spread out so wide on their property now, it doesn't all come to the basin. It comes off multiple locations of their property, and you can't contain it all at the road. And so a lot of it goes down Marty Gus's lawn, or front lawn, and then it goes across the road in a different location.
Into my side yard.
And how many years has this been going on?
When was that July storm? About 6 years ago, 8 years ago, something
I
like
know
that?
that there was something big around it,
Yeah,
4th of July, and then wasn't there like something around a Halloween
Yeah,
too?
it was the next one, for Halloween, and then this one.
Yeah.
Those have been
Okay.
significant.
Significant ones. So this has been going on for years.
A few,
Yeah.
shortly after we moved in.
When we get a significant storm and it carries debris and floods the grade, we have the issues.
So has there been like any studies as what to do, how to fix this? What do we do to fix this?
Well,
Because
the
it
first
needs to
step
be
is
fixed.
it's on private property. We only manage it when it gets to our right of way.
And there's nothing that can be done, anywhere else that can fix this? Like, I mean,
Bill Hugh, before his pipes became completely covered up, the stream actually entered the culvert pipe on Bill Hugh's property. That was, and Greg's brother owned property next to that. And at one point, I think your brother had it maintained,
We did.
Clean.
We had a contractor come in and clean that out to make sure, to try to mitigate what the problem was. The problem is starting with Bill. Jim, I've watched you pull pesticide containers, gas containers out of the middle of the road. I live a number of houses down at 3084 Oneida Street. My whole driveway is one muddy river. My whole front yard is one muddy river. I have mud silt all in my basement. I've replaced the water heater, 2 deep freezers, all because of where this problem starts.
so
The
people
gentleman-
are putting stuff in,
No, this is all off his property, but the problem with this gentleman is that he won't maintain that pipe. When that pipe gets plugged, everything overruns it, comes through the fence, goes over the backside, and like how Jim had explained, it overtakes, plugs that first catch basin, and then the second one, there's hundreds of thousands, if not millions of gallons of water coming through there. And that pipe is just not taking it, it's just too much. It needs to get headed off well before it. The problem with this gentleman has 2 tractors, every backhoes. He's not even hand digging it, but he refuses to maintain his property, which is now causing the rest of us problems. Wanting to
Marty
fix,
Gus,
time to
Marty
fix.
Gus's catch basin was a second line defense on her property, so if it surpassed Bill's, it would go through the hedgerow, and Marty has another one there. There's so much debris and everything, it's completely covered up Marty Gus's, she cannot physically take care of the one on her property, so everything is now coming to the road. And
Jim, do we have any legal relief in a situation like this?
I think, as I understand what Jim has described, it's not, unfortunately, not uncommon in central New York. It needs to start with the owner of the private system and seeking some redress against him. We cannot go on private property and maintain it, that's prohibited. The landowners also have a private cause of action under the law because it's impermissible to alter your property and drain on somebody else's property. I'm not suggesting you need to go that way, I'm just saying that I think the superintendent has correctly stated we need to look at taking some action with the private property owner, and maybe a matter of code enforcement. I don't have enough information in front of me to say that, but that's my input at this point in time.
is there some way of bypassing him since he isn't going to do it and just
That's what
fixing
it's
the
doing now, that's what's
situation?
causing the problem.
But I mean, is there something that the town of Paris can do, put something in somewhere on our property? On something that is public property that can
You
cut it
know,
off
because
before
the
it
actual flow of the creek and stuff originates in his backyard. It originates in his backyard, and when it's supposed to enter the culvert, then it goes back across Marty Gus's property, and ultimately would hit the catch basin that we have next to the road, and passes through that and underneath the Oneida Street.
Has anybody approached him to see if we could clean it out for him twice a year or whatever it takes?
We can't just go there and
Can't ever.
clean it out for him.
And even if he says,
Does he own the piping under there, or does the town of Paris?
who's get a right of
You
way?
could get it right away, yeah.
That's what I thought, a right of
The town of
way.
Paris only owns the right of way pipe. We have a catch basin. The catch basin separates the private property owner's pipe and the town's responsibility.
The other question I had is, what about an engineering study that shows where the genesis of the problem is? Has that been done, was it done initially, or did we just put those culverts in and those catch basins in on a local plan to try to resolve the issue? If there wasn't a full-fledged engineering study on that water genesis from the beginning, that actually would trace it over a period of time with a 99-year flood process, then you don't really know if you're catching it in the right place, no pun intended there.
When United Street was turned over to the town, it used to be a state road. United Street was turned over to the town, so I would imagine there's been studies on it. And years ago, we had a study done when the property that Mr. Loomis had, there was a crushed pipe on that side of the road that backed the water up on United Street at the time. And Don Eric, who was our engineer at that time, did the study, and to find out where it originates and everything. We do have that information.
You sound like you're frustrated because you're kind of caught, and there's not much that you can do. But with an engineering study, yes, it's gonna cost some money, but at least it's gonna say, this is what it would cost, and these are the resources that we would need to put together as far as right-of-way or access or whatever, and insurance, whatever is needed in order to move forward to prevent this thing, possibly in the future, based on the cost, because the cost may be outrageous, and maybe there's no real solution even with an engineering study, but at least you would know you've done everything you could if you have someone professional look at it.
Well, I feel our codes department has to step in. We have to put letters out to these people and give them the option. Because the ultimate thing would be the town would have to do something and put the cost against the property. And it would stay on the property until it was paid.
Do we have an
That's not gonna
engineer
happen.
in the codes department?
Down there is the town.
Okay. And that's something that he can do, that's in his scope of.
Don has done it. Don did the
Yes.
study probably, I don't know, it was probably 8 years ago. When the study was first done.
How big an issue would it be to clean this up, John?
It's, because it's
For Mr.
multiple
Levy.
properties, it's kind of an issue. And we don't know how much of the pipe, because now that the pipe's been silted in for years, we don't know how much of the pipe on Bill Hughes' property is actually probably useless.
Make a statement that between Craig's and my house, the road, the slope of my yard is eroding so drastically from these storms, it's eventually going to erode the road. And that I see as the problem. Could that be a catalyst to say, we need to take steps towards looking into his property?
Well, it doesn't allow us to do anything on his property. We have the right to maintain the right of way, so if there's erosion on your property, we would maintain that. That's our right of way. That is our right of way still.
Because that's my fear, is that with that amount of erosion, they are doing more than 40 miles an hour in front of my house. And even with the storm drainage problem this week, at the rate they were going at, I was afraid somebody was gonna hydroplane right into my front yard or worse, my house, because they were going easily 50 or more miles an hour. And like I said, with that, it's eroding the side enough that we will have a road issue problem, would be the next thing that an engineer is gonna need to look at, is that portion of Oneida Street between my property and Craig's that's gonna be gone.
Can you invoke eminent domain to fix the problem?
If it affects the community.
Because it's affecting multiple houses and it's affecting the safety of the roadway and the community, so why couldn't you do eminent domain?
Eminent domain is reserved for public purposes. I haven't had it come up in this context, they've done the takings, widening.
I would think it would be public safety if it's affecting a roadway.
It's going to eventually.
Yeah,
I mean,
and-
within the
I mean,
next
but it
6
covers
months.
there, I've been on Oneida Street before when the water comes up quickly, and it was, I didn't know that we were gonna get across, and my children were little then, and it was scary.
This happens within minutes.
Yes, absolutely.
This isn't a 3-hour, 4-hour longevity thing. I called Jim
Yeah.
because my father, who I had, because this has been an ongoing problem, and I knew we were gonna get heavy rains. I asked my father, hey, can you come up and just keep an eye on the road, keep an eye on the basement, make sure I'm not gonna, if it starts to take on water, start getting the mop going, or the squeegee guns. I called Jim within 10 minutes from him calling me, and by the time I got up there, and the whole road was overrun.
Mhm.
So this is a problem that's progressively gotten worse, and I used to work for Jim, I've watched this for years. And I know where it started, and I've lived there for a number of years now, and I've watched how much quicker and how much more intense this water gets in a very, very short amount of time.
Absolutely, it
On
can be
top
life
of,
threatening.
I mean, well, at this point, I have a little one at home who's got medical needs, and unfortunately, there's, that rush of water coming in does cause problems downstairs between electricals and appliances and everything else. And now, and I'm getting called, now I gotta leave immediately half a day because the water comes up so fast that it needs to get taken care of right then and there.
Mhm.
So that's why we're here, is we're asking, please do something. This is getting so bad now that it's gonna cost either somebody injury or like a substantial amount of money for structural damage.
What's our next step?
Our codes lady is the next step. We get Gina involved, and she's like to talk to these people for their property, for the maintenance of their property. And I don't have, Tony would have to tell us what time frame we would have to give them for this, to see if they're gonna respond to this.
Can we simultaneously get our engineer to take a look at this and get it, like, maybe an updated study? Because you said that was about 8 years ago, and they said that it's been like 6 years since the problem's going on, so maybe
Well, Gina would probably get him.
get him involved.
Once she looks at it.
Part of the process, that would be involved.
And can we also take a look into eminent domain, just in case that's an issue?
We could, I would say that's probably the last resort.
But at least if we started looking at it, then
I
we
can
know where
research it,
we can do it.
give you a
Okay.
cost estimate of appraisals and engineering, court costs to get it going.
Well, I guess that's a plan.
Start.
Does anybody else have
Because
any
they-
other
So that
thoughts?
starting on private property, must we dig a ditch along the whole property of Gus is within our right of way to funnel all the water to stop it from trying to get across the road? That's the only other option we have.
Would that work?
I'm not gonna say it's gonna work.
The engineer
I can't
could.
tell you 100% that that's gonna work. The problem you have is the grade of the lawn does not slope all of the water to the catch basin. Some of the water just goes across their front lawn and enters the road 100 feet down, and it comes down their house in multiple locations.
It causes rivulets on both sides of my house to come down. We get probably about 2 to 3 major passages of water that is trying to circle back, going down the runoff drain in the backyard. It comes downstream. It carries, like you said, multiple levels of debris. We had a tire come down the first time. This time we had 3 different containers. One was a gas can, one was an antifreeze container. It brings tons of stuff, and then it just continues down further. But I think it's more than just the catch basin. The 2 storm drains on Mrs. Russell's side of the Oneida Street at our location. It just comes so quickly, it cannot get through those. It ends up flowing down into, like I said, into my yard, which overflows into Kirk portion, or whatever you might want to call it, storm runoff, and ends up flowing massively downstream from there, as well as down the road itself. So we've got multiple problems with it. It's okay. Something we're learning to deal with.
And you also have an apartment in your garage over there too, right? It gets flooded out when this happened?
The owners prior to us built the garage as a live-in portion garage. It's basically just our catch-all area. But yes, we had to have,
But it's your
everyone come in.
property.
It is
so
my
it's
property,
fine.
yes, and we had to have
It's
sandbags
space.
come in because it flows so strongly and sits right there at my, garage door that it will start to, it trickled in this time. Last time it hadn't. But this time it did trickle in.
It almost needs a metal catch base, right across from that ravine.
Somewhere on Hardy's lawn.
Yeah. Under the road and the feet are in the nose.
The only problem is, I mean, just from going down there with the fire department, the problem really is the infrastructure, or the problem is when all the debris comes down and covers up the top of those grates that's running off of his property, because like Jim says, he doesn't maintain it. Before, when these pipes were open, it didn't cross the, I mean, once in the 25 years I've been working for the town, prior to him not maintaining these pipes. And I think the once was before they found that pipe was crushed across the road. But it never used to do that. It would always find its way up there where Jim's talking, and it would make its way down through that 30-inch, or it is 30, correct? 36 culvert across your driveway, and nobody would see a thing. But ever since that up top, and there's no way to corral it because everybody's property goes this way. So the water's running here, it's running there to the catch basin, but then it's running around here into your house. You know, that's the problem, that it needs to be maintained above. It's not the infrastructure there, because it, like I said, I've been here 25 years, and it's been holding it. But now that the beginning of the process is closed.
The
Oh,
storms
certainly.
years ago are not the storms now.
Certainly.
But the thing is when my husband and I took these pictures of the basin, is that what you call it, across the street at Marty's, when we came up through at noon, we took a picture, there was no debris on that. It was just going in. When he came home from his work, he works 3:30, gets home, it was full of, oh no, he took it from his camera, this way, and it was full of sticks and stuff after that. But like the problem that Mr. uses, that comes in like 4 different places on Marty's lawn. And then it floods Marty's lawn and goes into that catch basin. It goes under the road into his driveway, there's another drain. And then from his driveway, there's a big huge creek that goes underground all the way to that,
Comes to ours.
ravine. Yeah, to a ravine. And when it's coming out of that pipe under his driveway and across his front lawn, it sounds like a waterfall, a powerful waterfall going in that ravine.
Could the town board make a motion to at least have the engineer do a preliminary study to find out if they need a full study on that?
Sure. I think we can reach out to Don Aaron and ask him for the previous study that he did. And if he feels that we need to do another study. There's been no development involved that would change the course of this or the intensity of this as far as off the road or anything goes up there. It's all agricultural property with no improvements. There's been no site development or anything. I mean, up to the side of it.
Can you get in contact with him like tomorrow? I mean, is he in the office all the time? Would, Thomas?
Fred has a picture from his drain across the street to Marty's drain, and there's a crack from his drain in his driveway, all the way, there's a crack all the way across the street to that, so water's gonna be going in there. He's got a picture of it.
I have a picture of the water in front of our house as well, this recent one. It was going in 2 different directions on either side of this road. And then, my husband not called the fire department, he said it called 911, no one was answering. Anyway, he called 911 and said it's not a true emergency that we need. And I don't think we got them, the town to get there in time, there's a full day, I don't think we would have had at least much success this storm as we did. We were fairly grateful, and lucky.
And Marty's house is an older lady,
Is maybe this one in
and
the grade
your
one?
husband has medical issues,
Bad,
bad.
major medical issues, and he cannot be able to work to maintain the clean water.
contact Gina also, right, Joe?
Yeah.
Gina and,
When Craig got that house 2 years ago, we had extensive work done out front by Scott Evans. And when they fixed the pipe a long time
I
ago,
know it's.
underneath his property,
I know.
the lawn was tapered towards his house. So Scott said we have to peel this whole thing up and get it away from the house. And he's got a little pump so that it comes down,
Yes.
you know, it's not,
Pushes it towards.
it's not in the pipe, but, and, I can't remember if Scott or the car was doing work on Craig's house. They said that drain in Craig's driveway, what it needs to, it's not in there properly. Something about, because when the water comes down,
Change.
but when
All they
the,
changed is the pipe out of it.
when the water comes down, part of it comes down and forms a big puddle, big on his driveway. And he put a drain, we had a brand new, Scott Evans put a brand new, tile drain, I think they call it, way underneath at the bottom. He put one in, and then Craig put one in for his, if water comes down his driveway, it goes in that and then goes out. So, but I mean, it's getting worse, like, because the storms have hit us. I don't, it doesn't matter if it's a fire, a flood, a hurricane, a tornado, everything is getting worse. And, you know, I mean, who has the money for the footage? You know, I mean, it just needs to be addressed. I don't know if there needs to be a whole ditch, on front of Marty's property, and then underneath the road, right through the culvert, or whatever you want, the spillway. But, I mean, you know, Marty can't go out there and weed whack if there's a ditch. She would have to have that covered because she was an older lady. I mean, she used to sub years ago at the school with me in the nurse's office, and her husband just died, what, maybe 2 years ago.
Last year.
Last year,
She's in her eighties.
yeah. And
First, I would be Gina. Because 2 out of the 3 locations for water after a while. Until
Right.
they're opened up, we don't know if we can fix the system or rebuild the system. We're just guessing.
How far
Right,
out?
so if they do something, if they don't fix the guy up top, it's not gonna, doesn't matter. Right.
Yeah, if you don't fix where it starts, nothing else matters.
Exactly.
where does it actually start? Does it start on Mr. Hughes'
Yeah, up
property?
in his back.
It starts right there, it doesn't start up farther
No,
by
that's where
Butler.
the end of the pipes are up behind his house.
That creek runs right there. My brother lives right next door. There's yard up. There's no standing water next there.
Wow.
He should.
I mean, you talk about where it starts, there's zero, because I go up and check the property, and there's nothing back there that covers.
And then, and
It
that,
starts right at Billy's property,
And
I
it's
think-
not destroyed behind your brothers, it's not eroded.
and that guy knows it's gonna flood
The water
because
needs
as
to
you
be
saw,
properly channeled
he
back.
moved the boat up to higher ground, because if you look at its lawn, it goes down a bit. And he knows it's gonna flood, so he moves his boat up to higher ground, so he knows it.
we're here, I think for everyone's kind of saying that we've had enough of it, it's causing us money, and it's causing damage to our homes, and we need your help. We need somebody to do something about this.
Well, we'll work on it. You know, we'll get after it. Thank you for coming. I mean, you know, it's important to get this information.
We'll let Gina know, and, yeah, me and Jimmy will let Gina know, and we'll make sure that Dyer gets involved and all that.
And maybe by next meeting, we'd have something
We'll have
concrete, at
something to say.
least a direction if we're going in, and
I'm sure somebody will at least have a look and start that, so yeah, I can't speak for Don, I don't know what his schedule is, but I'm sure we'll be looking at it.
okay.
And I know Don already had, you know, he did the preliminary study for us years ago. I'm sure you're He's gonna follow the path. There's nothing new along this portion. You know, where this stems from. Construction wise, it could have altered. The biggest thing is where it's supposed to enter the system. It's breached it. It's going around it in multiple places, and it's probably 60 to 80 feet wide where it now enters Gus's property, where it should have been channelized through a culvert pipe. Now you're trying to get it all to come back to one spot, one single road culvert pipe. And it doesn't work. It's already past that. It's already down the road beyond the culvert pipe, the cross pipe.
she would have the pipe there, or did someone else own the property when the
He's
pipe?
on the property with us.
So he never gave permission for you to go on the land?
We don't get permission to go on the property.
Um,
We can't just go
Because I
on
think you
somebody's
have permission
property.
to go on Craig's property.
We have an easement.
Yes,
So it's practice.
yeah.
Because when it was repaired, there's no easement on the other properties. We cannot enter it.
Can you get an easement? Could you ask for one?
It would be,
Easement or right of way, that's
it
what.
would be more of, kind of eminent domain, wouldn't it?
Well, it's more than just the easement, because we don't own the catch basin.
We would own it.
You know, we would have to own it, to maintain it.
Anything. was-
So he put in the catch basin himself, or you did it?
It's just a culvert, it's the start of the system, it's a culvert pipe on his property. It starts the system, and then with culvert pipe under Marty Gus's lawn, it goes to the town culvert pipe, it goes under the road.
But who installed it?
But the culvert pipe is owned by the town, correct? No?
The town would have a culvert pipe to Marty Gus to that lawn.
The old piping-
We have a pipe at the road in the road. We do not have that in this lawn.
That's the only part of the town is under the roadway where it spits out on my property, but nothing further. So all the, storm runoff is my property, everything, Bernie Gus's, and, I'm sorry, Lahane, you said?
Lakeview.
Lakeview. That's all our private properties, so anything happening on those properties, the town has no say in like fixing, helping, assisting,
Not for me.
other than maybe coming and talking to us and saying, hey, can you help us out and fixing this so that further down the line, he's not going to happen.
Now, with Craig's property, though, you own that and his driveway, and you own the pipe that goes across, because you guys put it in,
Correct.
and you got the easement for his property.
Okay, are we all set?
Yep.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for listening.
Guys, come back next month and next month and next month.
If it doesn't,
Just keep on coming back. Keep, well, just, you know, keep coming
Will
back.
something be
It's good to see.
discussed every month about what you've done so
Yes.
far?
Yes.
Yes.
It will,
It
every
should be,
month.
so come on
And
back.
it's every Tuesday at 5, every second Tuesday.
Yeah,
at
second
5.
Tuesday, 5.
Okay, all right.
It's Ken, thank you for your time.
You're welcome.
Taylor?
I just called for my 5 minutes just to see where we were at with any potential exit for the meter issue. I know you said your options were limited, you were looking into it more last time, but it's progressively gotten worse. There's been signs up in her windows that I have pictures of that she's written about my family, about the family next door. She's proceeded to just call apparently I'm inbred, so she keeps calling me that. She said my wife's name to be male, calling her an inbred, said we have inbred children, so she's mom, and harassment, yeah, and I mean, she also sits for the last 5-6 days, she sits on the porch and probably every third word is the N-word, and obviously Rick Mazzaro, he probably offended by that. He said he tries to, I talked to him today, he said he tries to ignore it. He said people like that is essentially why he disinquite from you to go back in the 80s, but I had the cops at my house in there today because of her verbally attacking my wife. Apparently there's nothing that we can do, even with the signs in the window that say the English family on it, even if they're saying the English family, apparently they're saying that we're inbreds and that inbreds need to be squashed and taken off the earth. It's not a direct threat for me to take any legal action, as far as like her getting arrested. Harry did probably talk to the cops briefly today, tried to say that she was doing anything, she was praying. The cop was like, oh, she was saying this in a prayer, and he just kind of dropped his head and said that he was wrong. But I don't know what my next move is. I know that there's probably not much that the town can do to help us.
Just to interrupt, I did deliver, and it's looking past that.
I'll send an email to you
A memo
in the morning.
with a checklist of questions and items, including sections of the applicable penal law, because I disagree that they should have been charged under harassment or something, and they weren't. But that's, sometimes local law enforcement doesn't want to get involved in what they consider to be disputes between.
He said if she still had the picture, the signs in the window, he might have been, but I don't have pictures of the signs in the window, so.
It's all
You
day,
want the
every
audio
day.
from the weekend?
I can
Every
give you-
time we come
I
home
give you
from our
audio from
house,
today where she
oh my
was-
God.
That's
Having mine and my wife's name prayed for, like, the cops, nobody does anything. She's out this morning bragging about how she didn't let the Puerto Rican cop on the property because she's inbred. We come and go from our house and we're called dirty, inbred, black bloods. She's spitting at people, yelling at cars.
Going on.
I called yesterday morning, and all I was told was I need to call when she's doing it for a mental health check. If they go there, they're gonna have to tase her.
She hides in the house, but.
She does.
Yeah, it's every day.
Well, I drove by one morning at 6:30 and she was yelling at me. I didn't even know.
7:30 this morning it started.
You guys probably know Mike and Sheila Shaw. Sheila's been, they live down on Ash Street forever. Sheila walks almost every day now. She gets older. She's my great aunt.
Okay.
She was walking by today and Courtney was verbally attacking her. She was verbally attacking me. Man, the name was slipping out. The lady used to work at the, I want to say she was a librarian. She runs every day.
Mrs. Lulay?
The Lula's,
Yes.
Oh.
She was, I have audio of them verbally attacking, being verbally attacked by her today too. I'm like I said,
Why, do people call the cops this?
It's First Amendment.
They won't do
First Amendment.
anything. The cops have been there 3 or 4 times in the last 3 months.
apparently,
Sheriff, state trooper, you pick, they both come.
apparently a threat needs to be extremely correct, like, I am going to stab you, like.
She told me she was going to dig a tunnel underneath the road. Now, I laughed at that because let's be real, she's not actually going to. She told me that she was going to blow my house up.
Well, that's a direct threat.
I was a crappy mom, and I no wonder my children act the way that they do because I'm a crappy mom.
We got a video of this?
Oh, I got videos.
Yeah, how many you want? We got lots of them.
Yeah.
The board's gonna get what I submitted, but with your permission, let me reach out to the district attorney's office, just to get their position on this, because what I'm hearing should be, in my opinion, and I'm not a criminal attorney, what I'm hearing, and what I provided the board, and you read it, should be charged.
She's harassing the
It's
town.
hate speech. There's interracial families that live next door. It's hate speech.
That in and of itself, I think, sufficient.
First Amendment is what I got yesterday. First Amendment.
Can the town, support MCAT being called medical crisis?
I was gonna call this morning, but I had to go to work.
I'm not familiar with our position. I thought that the.
Yeah, so across the street, there's an interracial couple who's their older couple that live
That could be their kids.
And on the other side, there's a Puerto Rican.
She yelled at you guys, and you might just go.
Well, she didn't know, but she was waving her fist at us today down the road, I don't know why.
Okay, so, I guess what let's do is
We'll have by tomorrow, I will reach out to, the district attorney by the week, by Friday, and see if I can get a pulse on why they're not taking any action, or what it's gonna take to compel them to take some action, short of somebody getting hurt.
They don't wanna deal with it.
My next move is
We're gonna have
looking into suing the property owner and seeing what.
So who owns
But
the
I'll-
property?
Harry
One of their
Smith.
parents? Is it one of their parents?
It's her
That's
father-in-law.
Her father-in-law?
She's the one, Courtney is the one who's making the main issue, it's her father-in-law's house.
So it's the guy's,
Daughter-in-law.
Wife.
the guy's,
Yeah, the guy's daughter-in-law.
So Harry's son is married to Courtney. Nick.
so he lived there too?
Yes.
And he's been a problem, he's been less of a problem, but I have videos of him chasing National Grid down. They were coming to mark something out, I believe, in one of our houses, and she started yelling at him, and the guy is just a great car parked on the side of the road, not even parked in front of their house, more parked in front of, Melissa and Dave's house, and the guy pulled away and went up to the church, and I have a video of Nick running down the road, screaming, calling them whatever names, and you think you're just gonna run away? Apparently, they talked it out, but just, I mean, it's nonstop.
It is,
I mean,
it's all day, every day.
Yeah, and there's nothing, I know Tamara, she put it here tonight, I need to run the other side of them, has videos of her. I mean, we're going on LinkedIn, we all have videos from the last 2 days, if not multiple of them. Oh, definitely longer.
Yeah, this has been going on since March.
And this past week has been living hell. Living hell.
Is there any way, and I'm not trying to make any promises, that you, each of you can get the clerk a zip drive or something of these, so I could share these with
I can make a Dropbox.
law enforcement?
Put together that or something, yeah.
Mike, can you take them by email? We just email them to us as attachment?
It probably have to be a Google Drive or something.
Okay.
But yeah,
I'll give you guys my email.
but we can do it.
Alright, perfect.
And I can,
Perfect.
I'll set something up with
Okay.
it. I mean, I'm gonna spend a couple $1,000 this weekend probably putting a head on in front of the house. To try to,
Like, we've had a private surveyor come to survey our property, and they were out at the property line screaming at the surveyor
And they have now come back to
Yeah.
finish the survey, so I
So-
cannot put up a fence.
for our property line. Yep.
There's been no options. Nobody wants to deal with this. The cops have said she's mentally deranged. How can you how can somebody refuse to have a cop come on the property based on the race? How is that possible? I saw it, Melissa saw it, my wife saw it, I don't know if Taylor was around that day. She kicked him off the property and he left. A state trooper.
Yes, a state
I had to
trooper.
have the Puerto Rican guy
Yeah.
and another white man come to my house, and the Puerto Rican man was kicked off of their property. He sat in my driveway in his car while the white police officer had to finish taking care of the issue because he was not allowed on the property. And she never even came outside and spoke to them. I said, how is it that I called the cops on one individual and you guys went there and didn't even speak to the individual that I called on?
she would have come out there, she's like, I hit the house.
Because that's what she does. She spews with the mouth, and then as soon as the cops come, she hides and howls.
Disappointing, but as Tony said, get a bit of over.
Don't forget to get your videos tonight.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Something's gonna happen.
Yeah.
But this is a dateline episode in the making.
It's gonna be a full.
Bad.
You're gonna have somebody trafficked and something's gonna happen.
Something's gonna
You do
happen.
whatever you feel is pertinent.
Everything.
All of it.
Okay. All right. Anything else? Okay, thank you. All right. Some resolutions. Yes. We're just gonna go out with regular board meetings, but then everybody will be there. Go out with regular board meetings.
Turn on to a ministry, you want to come to the school, this is what the town is now going to be known for.
I have never seen threats. I will not make threats.
We have some resolutions here.
I'll just let you know.
We have a resolution.
Just be the ring videos.
Negative declaration.
Alright, yeah.
So, procedurally, my records and notes show that secret's still open.
We're gonna keep coming back.
We conducted the public hearing, we closed the public hearing, but we did not close seeker. We closed seeker was. Did you verify that?
Yeah.
Mike?
You know what? I can, but I don't think I have done.
Okay, just for expediency, could we ratify then and confirm that seeker, the local law is closed? Motion to do that?
I'll make the
All in favor?
I would then call for the resolution issuing a negative declaration and authorizing the supervisor to sign Part 3 of the EAF which is the determination of the negative declaration.
I'm making it, okay, can I get a motion approving local law number 1? Is that it?
No,
Nope,
No?
nope, we're just, it's a resolution, just motioning for a resolution to, issue a negative
Oh,
declaration.
okay. So resolution,
Second.
second? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay,
now I need a motion approving local law number 1.
okay. Can I get a motion approving local law number 1 of 2024 pertaining to wind energy? That's one? Yeah,
So,
second?
second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, can I get a resolution approving the amendment to owner-engineer agreement for water source treatment plant, Suquoia Consolidated Water District? Change order in the amount of $25,000. Get a motion?
Make that motion.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Okay. Did you guys see in your packet that we're looking for the Parks Department to get trade-in for a new Ferris mower? It's a ISX 3300 mower from Clinton Tractor, and the cost is not to exceed $6,100. You guys see that in the packet?
Yeah, I saw that. What year mower is that? Do you know?
I think he does it every 2 years.
It's
Yeah.
usually every 2 years.
It's a
2-year-old
Yeah,
mower.
every 2 years?
Yeah. Okay.
And it's got a budget.
Yeah, the park's been doing pretty good since Kerry came on, so.
We're gonna do, we need a resolution to participate in positive pay. Mike, do you wanna talk about that?
Sure, so positive pay is just an extra set of, steps. Make sure we don't have any fraud. We had an issue with a check, somebody designed a check in basically Illinois, made a fictitious number, cashed it for almost $1,000. But luckily, we're gonna get reimbursed for that, but going forward, we're gonna have an extra step of precautions through MVP, so.
There's actually been I hate to call it a gang, of dumpster divers who are calling for checks to get routing numbers, and they are then reproducing checks. Sometimes it's an actual copy of them, other times it's just a routing number, and these things get rewritten, and the positive pay is a double verification.
Yeah.
Randomly on checks that are being passed. It's very extensive right now.
A lot of extra work. Yeah, well, right now, it's kind of in place, right now, we're kind of like on a hold, like, we only open it when we need to actually do things, but, yeah, this is a step we're gonna need to move forward.
It's gonna be a lot more work for the clerk too, or somebody, because they're gonna have to double verify. that
Yeah,
they're
kept verifying
checks.
checks that go through just paying vendors.
Okay, I'll make a resolution to participate in positive pay. I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed?
Yeah, there was nothing on our end, it was literally, we seen the check, it looks kind of like one of our checks, but you can tell it's not, and the number's nowhere near. So, somebody from, we have a lot of vendors actually that we pay in Illinois for some reason. Like a lot of our distributors and stuff, that's where they collect their money, is in Illinois. That's where the USA Blue Books have been, Illinois.
So Mike, I need to make a resolution, correct, for the mower?
For the, yes.
Okay, so can I get a resolution to purchase the Ferris mower in the amount to not exceed $6,100 from Clinton Tractor? Can I get a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? No? Okay. Okay, so we have some transfers. Yeah.
Sorry.
I didn't,
Come on, that's
I didn't hear, I didn't hear
Yeah.
the resolution.
Okay, for the water district, we need to transfer to cover the Butler Road pump station project. We need to transfer $103,255.27 from SW 511 appropriated reserves to SW 8340.4 transmission and distribution contractual. Then we need to transfer $103,255.27 from SW 200 cash to SW 231, number 800-722-4494 to the Sequoia Water Reserves account.
That's the only transfer, and that was just to cover the Butler Road project. It's pretty much done.
They'll be finishing Thursday.
You need a resolution?
Yep, just,
All right, I'll make that.
Second,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Okay. Jimmy, what do you got with the highway department?
Stormwater, we spoke primarily on, we touched it, we got good ideas, people, but, we will proceed with Donner and also Gina. And, we'll go in the meantime, some of the photos you see, we've picked up barriers, I'm gonna pick up more barriers. Unfortunately, Marty just may not be happy, but in the event we know there's rain coming, we're gonna line up the barriers. It's a lot of work, but we gotta react. It's getting devastating to some of these companies. So, the future, we'll put barriers out prior to the storm. If it doesn't hit as hard as they say, then I guess everybody will be happy they won't have any. That's pretty much all we're gonna talk about for stormwater on that one. Greens Crossings Road. I don't know if anybody's been over it. You see we paved the second half from the railroad tracks to Summit Road. That's all new. We're looking to do what they call the T&L paving from the Greens Crossings Railroad tracks out to Sulphur Springs Road, which is basically repaving 3/4 of the lane. In front of everybody's homes, you can see where the deterioration is really bad. The snow plows like picking this stuff up, really feeling it off. So the T&L process, I'm looking to do that this year, which will give us a plowable surface for this year without making the road any worse, and obviously not from this material in people's homes. And then in the spring, we would just be doing an overlay on the road. So we're gonna basically do one part of the process this year. And I'm looking to get a resolution to approve Hanson for the T&L paving at a cost not to exceed $46,080.
We don't have to get this bid, is that?
It was, Hanson was low bid, it was Barrett, Hanson, and Warner.
All right, I'll make that motion.
Hanson was low. We rebid it because the original process was for paving all of the road in its entirety, and we did not do that, so we just took this out, and then as the maintenance part of it, we redid the maintenance part of it, so we have a plowable surface for this year. And that's all of it. We may possibly eliminate the approved Clayville paving of Foundry Road with Hanson and the prior board meeting. We may be pulling that back. It doesn't affect me. I just may be holding it back. Because it doesn't sound like Clayville's going to pave some of their roads, so I'm not going to have a problem connecting a little bit of the road to the original mistake. We may be holding that until next year. That's it.
Yep. So can we get,
you got the resolution already for the Greens Crossing, you're set on.
okay. So do we have an update on the coverage?
No, she was gonna come, but apparently she couldn't make it.
Okay. Anything from Gina?
Yep, Gina had year-to-date 43 building permits. In July, 1 operating permit. Also in July, 5 complaint letters. And, fourth fire inspection scheduled this month.
Okay, Mike?
I would like to have, I don't know if it's a motion or a resolution, probably a resolution, adjusting the dog redemption fee. It's currently at $50 since we re-signed with Swans. Their fee's up to $75 now, and we'd like to come up so we're not paying more for other people's dogs, so. We just recoup the costs, so if I could have a resolution.
I'll make that resolution.
Second?
Second.
All in favor? Anybody opposed? Okay. Joe, did we skip over you? Nope. And for Gina, or for the budget officer?
Mr. Estimate forms for the department heads, will be distributed on or before August 19th, and the deadline to return those estimate forms is September 20th. Budget time is getting quick.
Okay. Tony, do you have anything?
As I suggested earlier, I provided to Mike and supervisor a memo and outline that I want the board to consider. So we can talk about getting, regardless of what may happen with law enforcement, something in place. It's really going to allow the mechanisms that the town of Paris adopts, because the town of Paris does not have its own law enforcement, like other communities who sort of implement these things. So I want you to read it, I've had some material, and I'm available to discuss with anybody what your thoughts are on which direction. Anything else, we'll probably report on status of pending litigation in executive session.
Okay. Can I get a motion to go into executive session for legal personnel reasons
And pending litigation, please.
and pending litigation?
I'll make that motion.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. 6 o'clock, we'll go to.
Can I even make a personal?
Yeah.
Yes, please.
Can I get a motion to come out of executive session at 6:29 PM?
I'll make that motion.
Second? All in favor?
Aye.
Can I get a motion to pay the vouchers?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And can I get a motion to close the meeting at 6:30 PM?
I'll make that motion.
Second? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Thank you.